back, everyone. Welcome back or welcome to the Life Beyond Mind podcast, the People's Podcast. I had a little drive back home this morning, about an hour in the car, and without a doubt, I think Guzman has the fast food brekkie market cornered. It's too good. The big brekkie burrito, the coffee's good, it's cheap. I tend to sneak myself some Guzman when I'm away from the house, because if I was to have that here, I would be lashed to death by my wife for all the seed oils. So I've also left I took her car, so I've left the bag of Guzman on her front seat. Sorry, wifey. Let's get into today's topic. We're going to talk about hostile analysis. No, we've done that. Sorry, backtrack. Hostile authenticity. Hostile authenticity. You know, it's kind of in the name, right? It's this sense of using authenticity as a kind of just get out of jail free card, basically. If I say I'm just being my authentic self, then I've given myself permission to do and say kind of whatever I want. So let's do some history. As you know, I like my little history dives. Working in the interior growth market, and I'm going to say, let's go 10 years ago. 10 years ago now, the amount of training I was doing with people on like confidence or assertion, helping people be more convicted in themselves. That was a big topic of discussion, and a lot of people needed help with being more convicted in themselves. People don't need that help anymore. People don't need help being convicted in themselves. In fact, all I'm seeing is people convicted in themselves. So it's a good, like, all in all, I'm a big fan of authenticity, and we need to pursue it and figure it out and do it and be it and live it, our most authentic selves, without a doubt. So we're certainly on the way. But let's do this. I really, what I think it comes down to is I think people are now more than ever feeling themselves. I think people now more than ever are they're in their feelings, and they're kind of trusting their feelings, and they're going with it, and they're just kind of launching themselves out into the world. So this felt sense of I am me and I can say and do whatever I want because I'm just being true to my feelings is the start of authenticity. It's the start of it. It's got to be the felt sense first, and then going with that felt sense. So in younger people, I think I've said this before somewhere, in younger people, they are like, I'm talking probably 28 and back, they're so damn convicted in themselves. Like, hey youngins watching, hello on YouTube, you're so damn convicted in yourself, and it's great to see. And it's really, really cool to see so much conviction. So it comes with problems, right? It comes with problems too. It comes with problems. Really, we'll break this down a little bit further, is when someone is feeling authentic and using that and going with that, it means also that they're pretty damn present. Like, to really be in your feels, in your authenticity and going for it, then you're pretty switched on to the present moment as well, which is, again, a good thing. So there isn't that mental layer there. There isn't that overthinking thing, that mental rehearsal, the mental editing, the mental doubt. What we call a kind of that cultural ego piece is gone, and there is just this bubbling, exuding kind of confidence, which is extremely authentic. Now we'll get to the hostile part. Where does this go a bit awry? If we're going to back being authentic, which we bloody well should, then where does it go a bit off the mark? Well, it starts with sentences like this. Okay, it starts with sentences like this. I'm just speaking my truth. Okay, that's a problem. That makes me get a bit what's going on here. Okay, so that's the first one. I'm just speaking my truth. Second one, I'm just being honest. All right, that's another problem statement. I don't sugarcoat things. Problem statement. And another one is your trigger is not my problem. There you go. That's another one. Underneath the, I'm just speaking my truth, you kind of get those things. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm just being honest. Your trigger is kind of your problem. Too bad, too sad. I'm just over here, you know, in my villain era or whatever. Whatever it is, it's this sense of too bad. This is just me. Take it or leave it, sweetheart, kind of deal. Coffee break. All right. So you kind of got to touch on where I'm going here. Also, young people, really authentic, love it, but you're also just like loose cannons. You're super loose cannons. A really authentic person is a felt person. They're in their feeling space. They're in the present moment. You know, they're shooting from the hip, whatever. But there's two main sets of feeling spaces that is really, really good to understand in this conversation. First of all, there's something called pre-rational feelings. Pre-rational. They're feelings you have that happen and live well before your rational mind. Pre-rational feelings. There's also something called post-rational feelings. Post-rational feelings are feeling or felt experiences that are greater than your rational mind and so can include your rational mind. The main problem here with this kind of like hostile authenticity is people are in their feeling spaces, but they're unchecked feelings. Really, that's what it comes down to. Pre-rational feelings that haven't been run through a rational lens. They're really in the moment and they just kind of go blah and discharge their emotion through this lens of, oh, well, I'm just being authentic. Too bad, too sad kind of deal. And look, you know, all the power to you. I'm here like, yeah, let's do the authenticity thing. Fully. All the power to you. But you don't have to make your life hard and other people's lives hard by just being kind of lazy. How do you check this stuff? How do you check off of like, all right, I need to be in my felt authentic space because that feels truly me. And pre-rational feelings, normally what's happening is they're 50% true and 50% bullshit, or 50% your ego stuff, or whatever it is. That's normally how it goes. The reason why it feels really good and convicted, like I bring this example up a lot, but it still blows me away how convicted these younger people, I said 28 and back, how convicted they are with like no experience in things, but they're just like rock solid in their positions, rock solid in their stances, and they will just say when questioned about credibility or when questioned about, hey, you actually haven't even had any experience in this, yet you're so convicted, and they'll just go, oh, well, I know. I just know. I have a knowing. Yeah, we have a knowing. We'll have a bloody knowing, don't we? So let's look at this. Pre-rational. There's a pre-rational space, which is a feeling space. There's a rational space, not many feelings there, and there's a post-rational space. Feelings again. Pre-rational and post-rational, they're both feeling spaces. Okay? Pre-rational feelings are feelings that are really, they've been unchecked. They've been unchecked. They just sit there. They just kind of, they're impulses. I'll tell you what they are. First one, let's do the checklist. How do you check where your authenticity is coming from, where the felt sense is coming from? Well, first thing you want to ask and check yourself is this in a pre-rational feeling? So pre-rational feelings are anger, irritation, jealousy, lust, entitlement, insensitivity, insistence, demand, resentment, revenge. Do you know where you're coming from? Do you know what emotional place you're coming from? Because if you're coming from a pre-rational place, you're going to feel authentic, but you're just going to do harm. Like you're just going to do harm to yourself and others. If you want to be authentic from a pre-rational feeling space, please know you're just going to disrupt things and you're going to make your life hard and other people's lives hard. Okay. Now, this is for... Who's this for? Listening to this. Well, it's kind of for everyone, but if you're having a hard time with maybe a child or a loved one or whatever that's just like on the authenticity train, friendship groups? Let's go back to the warning signs. What's the smoke signals here of a bit of hostile authenticity? I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just being honest. I don't sugarcoat things. Your trigger's not my problem. those things, they're just, if I ever hear those, I just kind of bunker down, just I just kind of wear whatever's going to come next with not much investment, because it's coming from normally a pre-rational place. Okay, so how do you check? How do you, if you're on the receiving end of a bit of bullshit authenticity, a bit of like hostile authenticity, if someone starts a sentence with that, you don't again, not the time and place, I couldn't be bothered. Boring, snoozy. If that person says, I'm just speaking my truth, you know what the kind of fundamental reality is for them is they're actually saying what they're saying is just letting everyone know, I'm just about to abandon my own commitment to the truth because I want to speak about you or your truth or the truth or whatever. If someone says, I'm just being honest or whatever, kind of what happens in me is like, oh, this person's just about to abandon their truth. They're just about to actually abandon their commitment to some integrity and say something off the wall. Yeah, we'll get there. First thing in the checklist is this a pre-rational experience, a pre-rational emotion? Because if it's charged up and volatile, where's the bloody truth in it? Real truth, real authenticity regulates everyone. All right? Real authenticity regulates everyone. Hostile authenticity dysregulates everyone. So let's sit on that one for a bit. Thanks for tuning in, my live peeps. That's really cool. Okay. Point number 2 is kind of said there is, is this pre-rational? Point number 2 is, are you dysregulating others? Just be genuine. Just be honest. Are you dysregulating others with your quote-unquote truth or your quote-unquote authenticity? Because if you're dysregulating people, it's not. Well, when someone's really authentic, when someone's really, truly in their truth, they may dysregulate people, but they're so quick to settle them and soothe them and be with them and connect with them. Hostile authenticity doesn't actually want to connect. Hostile authenticity doesn't want to do that because it has a goal, okay? It has a goal. Hostile authenticity, really, that person either wants to... This is really simple. This is a really simple one to understand. You'll see it. You'll see it clear as day. That person has a goal to either dominate a person or a situation. Simple as that. Or they want to release from a person or a situation. They want to get out of something. They want to just go, oh, that's too much, let's push them to the side or get them out of here. Like, feel out those two things. If someone's going to pull the whole, I'm just speaking my truth, you can ask yourself really quickly. You can ask yourself this doing it, or you can ask if you're around that situation, which is, are they just trying to dominate, or am I just trying to dominate, or am I trying to get out of something here? Trying to release myself from something. They're the two motivations that I see pretty out front for this kind of hostile authenticity dealio. I have a fourth one here, which is just nasty. Like, the fourth one here is so nasty when you see this, or when you see it live, or when it happens to you, which is horrible. Where in a social setting, someone gets isolated or humiliated by someone's quote unquote truth. I'm just being authentic, and really just kind of isolating someone socially and humiliating them in front of a group. That's the lowest level shit. It does my head in when I see that. It's just so rough. It's so rough to do that to someone socially, to like quote unquote speak truth in a social setting, which actually is just humiliating someone, or is actually just isolating someone. When that happens socially, it's so rough, and it dysregulates every person involved. Everyone involved who has to see that, who has to feel it, who has to feel the discomfort of someone being absolutely wayward with themselves, is that's really, really hostile. Okay, that's hostile authenticity. Someone's got enough uppity about them, enough whatever, enough no, who cares, to go, I'm going to say something, what I think is honest or my authentic self in a social setting. It's going to humiliate someone, or it's going to isolate someone. That's rough. That's rough on everyone. And that's pretty plumb for the old hostile authenticity. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up. I think you can check yourself when you're on this journey, because again, let's reiterate, like, authenticity it's the money. It's the money. It's a way of being that's so authentic to the moment and present, with no mental editing, no mental rehearsal, and you're really involved. And it is the best way to be, really. It's also very hard because you've got to walk delicate lines of, I need to be my honest self, but I also have to be so cognizant of the fact that there's a social environment here. I have to be so cognizant of the fact that truth does come with a certain type of energy, and real truth regulates. That's what I'll come back to. Like, if you're being a real authentic self and person and human, is really great at including everyone and regulating everyone. Like, the most authentic people I know, they actually fully regulate environments. They fully include everyone in environments, and everyone feels better around them. If you dysregulate environments, if you exclude and isolate people, that doesn't have a place with the word authenticity. That's an absolute cop-out. Coffee break. We're getting jazzy, team. We're getting jazzy. All right, let's wrap it up. So let's do some pre-flight checks. If you want to send it down the authenticity road in a real way, then all you got to ask yourself is, authenticity is bringing your felt self or your deeper self out into the table in any situation. Right? I'm authentic. Here I am. Take it or leave it. Now, are you bringing yourself out into the environment, bringing yourself forward to be seen more and to be known more and to connect? Right? He's a part of me. He's a genuine part of me. You can see me. I want you to know me. I want to know you. I want to get that vulnerable piece of me out there. I want to be seen. I want to be heard and seen, even if it's a little bit scary, right? That's authentic. Or if I'm being a bit rugged or a bit hostile, then what I'm about to share, am I just discharging my own emotional state? Am I just vomiting my emotional state on someone? Or am I trying to dominate someone or get out of something? Like, those two things are so, those two things are so dissonant. They're so far away. It's such a different experience too. Here's myself because I want to be seen, I want to be known, I want to connect, I want to include, versus here's me because I don't sugarcoat things. And no, you're actually just trying to dominate the situation, or you're trying to be released from the situation. So hopefully that helps. Again, the People's Podcast in full swing. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for hanging out. If you're watching this, like and subscribe. Hang out with us, because there's going to be live stuff, and the live stuff's really raw and cool. We're never watching this live. On One Take Wonder. Sometimes it could go absolutely haywire, and then you get to watch that too, a crash and burn. If you are listening on the pod, then definitely share this stuff around. Like, get as many people listen to this, because I think it's really helpful, right? You don't need to be hurt by someone who's a bit wayward with their authenticity, which is like saying they're just a bit wayward with their feeling space. You don't need to be hurt by that, and you don't need to buy into it either. And this is also for listeners, like, on the genuine journey, on the genuine, real interior heavy lifting. I want to be as real as possible and do it in a real way. Then this is how you can also check yourself. This is how you can also check yourself on your own checks and balances, so you don't generate some more hurt for yourself and others. All right, thanks for listening in, guys. There's plenty more to explore at Life Beyond Mind, and plenty more to explore in full spectrum development and what we do. So jump around, have a look, listen to some episodes with Tommy and I, grab some more solos. But happy adventuring, guys. Check you later. Bye-bye.